This town's so beautiful. I love riding through here, but there's so much traffic all the time. And then, case in point, this person's gonna run me off the road. Do they see me? No, they definitely don't. That was cool. Thanks for that. Appreciate you. I should have blipped on my horn. He's not even turning! What a fucking asshole! Jesus Christ. Stay safe out there, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Chase here, 3C Miniworks. This is the E-Ruck. It's finally built. So excited. Today we're gonna do some test mileage, running it down the road, probably 20-30 miles one way and then back, all about 55, but we'll get on it a couple times. And we're just trying to see where we're at for mileage and per charge. So let's get to it. I think the wildest thing about this bike, when you're riding, you could literally hear birds chirping. What is that? It took we put 30 miles on it just to get the hang of, how it handles before I can safely ride on longer trips and make sure nothing is broken or whatever. And the way this thing rides, it's almost hard to adjust to, but it's a rocket ship. I posted a clip the other day about just like I think it's like a 10 to 70 pull, and it was very, very light throttle. And I'll link that below as well so you guys can see it, but just wicked. Altogether wicked. Just how quick it gets up and moves, it's insane. I think for me, the hardest part to wrap my head around is just the safety aspect. And the fact that I wanted this bike to look cool, I kind of tucked the plate, tucked the tail light and stuff. But when we were out riding yesterday, I told my wife, I'm like, I can barely see your tail light. It's a problem because you can't hear this bike too. I mean, the horn's loud, really loud. Let's see. Beep, beep. But if you can't hear the bike, what's from stopping people to see you? So gonna get that remedied. I think I'm gonna get one of those tail light things that you put on the back of your helmet. So that'd be pretty cool. And then that way I don't really have to worry so much about the bike itself and the aesthetic. So funny story, I took this out first day, about 5 miles down the road, just to get a handle for how it actually feels. Went to the hardware store to get some dress-up bolts for it. And as I pull up to the hardware store, I could park in the parking lot or I could park underneath the awning. So I did the latter, parked underneath the awning. I figured it might rain. I don't want to get this all wet. Like, I just built it. I'm feeling really optimistic about it. I stop recording, take my helmet off, and turn around, and I have a cop walking up to me. I'm like, God, how did this happen? So he's parked on the curb right there with me, and he's like, hey man, I'm just shooting the crap with him. Hey, how's it going? He goes, is that thing legal? And I'm like, yeah, it is. And he's like, do you have the registration for it? And I don't even have a real plate on it yet, because the registration in Ohio, I had registered the plate under E-Ruck. It's a personal plate, or a personalized plate. And so they just hand you a piece of paper that you can't really put on the bike. So I slapped a plate from the GROM on it. And he's like, yeah, I passed you the other way. I couldn't see the plate because it was tucked under there, and I just wanted to make sure everything was good. So he starts asking me all these questions about if it's electric and how fast it goes. Apparently electric stuff gets stolen all the time, and because a lot of these Surons and things aren't really road legal to begin with, they end up citing a ton of people. So here we are, good old me, actually legal, and he's just doing his job, and I can't fault him for that, but we had a good time. I tried to get him to ride it. I tried so hard, and dumb me, like I said, I did not hit record because I didn't think I was getting pulled over. I don't have mirrors, clearly. That's my preference. That's illegal in itself. Nonetheless, here we are. But yeah, that happened. I was like, God, this would be my luck. I'm out the first trip, and I get pulled over. Well, first trip. So we are in the second speed mode. There are 3 speed modes, and then a super mode, so technically 4. The super mode is super torquey. Everything about it's just faster, geared towards more power. The first mode on the ladder, or the other side, is the exact opposite, where it's just a lot more user-friendly, kind of tops out and won't let you go past a certain torque band, which I've yet to really do tests on those for mileage. So today I'm just testing in speed 2, because I felt like the other days when I was testing, it allows me to get up quicker, so I could do 55, 60, no problem. But it also gives me a little bit of torque to have fun with. So I think it's just all around, that's probably going to be the cruising speed that I'll be in. With the completion of this, I 100% will build another electric. I know in my last vlog I was talking about potentially doing it, but what I'm going to do is swap a Grom. I like the Grom seating position, and I really want to tackle the process myself. So I'm going to do it. We're going to do it, and I'm going to post everything along for the journey. I'd hope you guys can stick with me as well, because I'm really excited about that one. And likewise this, I mean, this thing is awesome. It's no problem. I got these cars in front of me, so I'm only doing 47, 48, but this is a 55. This thing will do 55, no problem. I did lose some weight. If you guys have been watching, I started out the channel at about 280, so that's super cool. I'm down to 220 since February, so I've been kind of chipping away at that, just making some better decisions. You know, truth be told, I honestly did that for this build because I knew if I was heavier that I wouldn't get as much range. So that happened, and super excited about that. So it's a little bit easier to go faster now, I would assume. Extra 60 pounds, 50 pounds, I don't know, math. It'll make a big difference when it comes to energy transfer and just kind of keeping up with that speed. A lot of these motors are meant for torque and, you know, the quick acceleration, but they're not really used so much in the all around like high speed situations. When I'm revving it out to say 60, 70, it demands a lot from that battery, so it allows you to kind of go farther if you are lower weight. It's just kind of one thing you can add to the equation to make it work. My trip right now is 4 miles. I have not seen the battery gauge move. 55 is like the sweet spot for this. I mean, it'll do close to 80, no problem. And that was me being very ginger about it. I'm still learning it. It's scary. Like, that's the best way to put it. It is scary. This bike is. How powerful it is, how torquey it is. I need to get some of my bigger bike friends. Tyler's got a 401, the Husqvarna that I often ride with. I need to get him on it and get his honest opinion. But coming from the CBR swap, that's a 300, the 250 Helix. I was out with my wife yesterday. I was on the 250, she was on this. And this thing just puts the 250 to shame. It's crazy. Regen works really well. You can see this little icon whenever I hit the brakes. Maybe you can't, depending on how bright it is. But it works really, really well. It definitely has more range, I feel like, when you're in lower speed or like the city, kind of riding around that way. Because anytime you brake, it helps convert that kinetic energy back into the battery so that you essentially get more battery life. But then again, you're also taking off, so it could equal out. Like I said, I need to do more testing over the course of the next few weeks and see where we're at with that. What do you guys do when you're at stoplights like this? Like, this thing's going to take an hour. And, you know, I'm just over here jamming, dancing. Again, listening to Era, my favorite metal band of choice. And everyone's probably looking at me like, that guy's an idiot. His bike's not making any noise. What is going on? And, yeah, that's what I do. Tap away, bob my head. I get people sometimes at stoplights where they're just, like, jamming out with me. They'll go all crazy. Hi! All right, finally. Jeez. Took way too long. I definitely cut through the video there to make sure that you guys didn't have to endure that with me, because that was very painful. All I want to do is ride. Just let me go. Can I bonus lane or something? Come on. Construction. Don't mind me. Don't smash me with the backhoe. That guy smirked. I love it. It's so cool. This bike, I don't know. I mean, obviously, to us who know electric swaps and can appreciate the Ruckus platform and everything, we love it. But just the general populace, when I'm riding by and people's reactions, it is so wholesome. You get these, like, case in point, grown-ass construction workers that are super burly, that are like, you know, you paint the idea of the typical Harley rider, and they're smirking, or they're just like, yeah, brother, that's sweet. I'm like, yay, my life's complete. I have the approval of a Harley rider. Oh, God. So, yeah, 30. And then, like, even if I do a quick blip, right now, 34, and I'm like, easily climbs, and that's in speed 2. It doesn't feel as torquey than if you're doing, like, 1 to 30 or whatever. Speed 3 definitely is, like, your torque monster. If you're trying to just do burnouts and stuff, which I'm not, because I definitely don't want to stretch another rear tire on this. Pain in the butt. I know I said it earlier in the video, but I cannot describe how strange it is to ride on a bike and not have noise. it is the weirdest thing to just, I mean, you hear some wind. Obviously, when you're riding a bike, you get that like normal, but that is it. A little bit of hum from the motor at this speed. It's silent. It's wicked. And if you're used to that feedback, the nice thing is this doesn't have a clutch. You don't have to switch gears or anything like that. So it's not too concerning about the noise feedback, but I know when I ride, that noise feedback, it tells me a lot if I'm slowing down, if I need to speed up, if I'm bogging, if, I don't know, like, it's two-sided. On one side, I enjoy that feedback, but at the same point, it also can get really annoying. So with this, it's really cool to get the adverse of that, where it's just non-existent at all. Little swervies for the bored straight road rider. I hope you guys have better roads where you're at, because in Ohio, let me tell you, flat lands and cornfields. I guess it's not as bad as if you go out west a little bit into like Iowa and stuff, but to be fair, this is miserable. But it's nice to test and stuff, because most of our roads, because they're straight, I can really rip on it or jump on the highway or whatever. I have plenty of roads readily available that I can have at my disposal to test and do mileage and all that stuff. So 55 coming down. What's also cool about the regen is it kicks on really hard. So when I go to brake here, it's interesting, the first like quarter of my braking force comes from my regen. So I almost feel like the regen's stronger than the brake force itself, which is a very interesting thing. Man, I'm trying to get sheets right now. I'm so hungry. We'll save that for another day. Yeah, vlogging, more important. So we're gonna go from 0 here. I'll take this turn really light and I'll kind of get on it, give you guys an idea for how it is. And this is, again, super light throttle in the second gear, and it's just a very smooth power transfer all the way up. What's nice is that I think 2 really limits your torque, so it allows you to actually enjoy it without worrying about having to flip off kind of thing. I don't know if you guys have ever had chrome wheels at all. So like these are the 3-piece that I had FLP machine, so I did the insides purple and the barrels are chrome. But I have never been so anal in my entire life about keeping a bike clean. It's a problem. I get home after a mile, I gotta clean the bike. I get home after literally a ride around the block, I'm like, oh, I gotta wipe this down with some quick detail. But it's cool with the rear wheel. It doesn't have a brake in the rear because it's regen, so it doesn't get nearly as dirty as a lot of the bikes that I've ridden. So all I have to do is really clean up the front, and the back I can do like every other time or every third time, and you don't really notice it too much, which is cool. But yeah, that happened. So if you've not ever had chrome wheels, half of me says it's cool and do it, and the other half says stay away because it takes a lot of your time. And because I'm using this video as a range video, I'm going to go ahead and cut ahead to when we get to about the end of the day and lower battery, so that way I can fully see where we're at. We're at about 10 miles now. It's funny, when you're on a Ruckus, I'm so much smaller than everything. I'm gonna die. You know, he goes, Chuckles, I'm in danger. And estimated, without me mathing just out loud, I would say we're at 45 miles with a quarter left. So I'll be honest, I did not stay out of this in the time that I got out. I made a trip to the power sports store. I let all them ride it, which obviously they're ripping on the throttle. And so if I could estimate 60 miles to a charge, and that's with me getting it from stoplights and, you know, having spirited riding sessions in it, not just cruising. I did some cruising at 55. This is now 45. So 60 miles I feel like is really good. Ideally, I'd want to have 80 to 100, and I really think I could get that if I actually stay off the throttle. But, you know, maybe in a few weeks I can be a little bit more disciplined. So we'll see. I'll report back here when I hit 0, and we'll further assess. We are down to 1 bar, and it is about to die. But we need to test these limits so that I know how far we can actually go in real world applications. We're right around the 60 mile mark or so I'm happy with it. Like I said, I've been beating on it a bit. Oh yeah, it's flashing. It's flashing at me. It's about to quit. Oh yeah, I feel it slowing down. Oh no! Full throttle, and it's like, I can't go anymore. Oh, can we limp it back home? Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, you can do it. Oh yeah, we're killing it. 20 mile an hour. Come on, baby. All right, we're gonna call that quits so I don't have to push it home, but that's 26 on this one, added up. So yeah, that's about 62 miles. There's about 62 miles on this, and that's a good feeling it when I want to go and letting the motorsports store guys rip on it. So that was great. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put it here as well. You should definitely check it out. Hi puppers, hi wife. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya!